CEO of the Universal Women's Network and Women of Inspiration Awards. And this is the Women of Inspiration podcast, where we interview women of inspiration who are leading by example and making an impact locally, nationally, and globally. Now, our women of inspiration are inspiring others to ignore the naysayers and dream big. Now, today is a very special show. We have our 2020 Woman of Inspiration Youth Excellence Award recipient, Boluwatife Adefemi, who is from Oshawa. And you are calling in today. You are just kicking it out of the park, Bolu.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have this podcast with you. Are you still feeling the rush of the adrenaline from winning the Youth Excellence Award for Women of Inspiration?
Yes, I am. Of course. This is like a never ending, never leaving my body rush.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that, because I think that we should never let that go either. And on the days that we are really challenged for, gosh, this feels like a horrible day, I hope it lifts you up and carries you through those moments. And Bolu, are you there? All right. So, Bolu, it's great to have you back here. For those of you that are listening, Bolu is a singer and a songwriter from Oshawa, Ontario. Not only is she an incredible student hoping to advance her studies, but you are only 13 years old. At 13 years old, you've made a significant impact writing your own music. Of course, COVID hit and you went and you wrote a song about that, about your experiences, and you shared that with the world. But you've been giving back. You're a volunteer. You're a student. I know from experience, every single virtual mixer that we had, you participated. There was confidence. You're just so full of confidence. You have a great voice. You're very mature for your age. And all of the women that have been in this whole journey with you are super impressed with just your level of maturity and what you're contributing to the world and how hard you work. So welcome, Bolu. It's really exciting to speak with you today. And of course, our Youth Excellence Award is very new. And so today we would really love to know, at 13, where did your journey start with music?
With music, that dates so way back. I feel that's so weird because I'm so young, but I've always had a connection with music. I've always loved to sing, dance. I'm not artist kind of kid. I've always loved anything musical, really. Yeah, since a young age. But I officially got into guitar when I was 9. My parents surprised me after a year of waiting, which I felt literally like eternity. But I got into music, writing songs. Before I would sing about the most random stuff. Like I remember singing about a billboard for Scotiabank. But I would write songs for many different things, variety of stuff. And yeah, I've always loved the saying, aspire to inspire. And I felt like music was the right way to portray that or to inspire people, because music, a lot of people listen to music, and music is worldwide, anyone can listen to it. So I thought that was the best way for me to spread any messages or love or anything I had to say. So yeah.
So what age were you really when you started to sing? You got your guitar at 9, but when did you kind of say, hey, my voice, I really like the sound of my voice? When did that happen for you and go, you know what, I really like to sing? Because I think there's lots of young girls that are watching, or young boys even, that have something that they really love to do, but they don't really know that that's their calling, right? So when did you figure that out?
Oh, when did I figure that out?
Are you still figuring that out?
Yeah, well, I feel like, I'm not sure, to be honest, because it's one of the things I've just always sang. And I feel like I've always just written songs. But I think I officially maybe started writing songs maybe proper ones when I was around the age of 9 too, just because I had a guitar now to accompany my voice and I could be more creative. Yeah, but I believe I've been singing for a while.
And so when you write your songs, what is your
Mhm.
process? So how does that happen for you?
My process is very different every single time, if I'm being honest. But one thing I always do is usually a few days before, if I'm feeling like in the mood of I feel like I'm gonna write a song in the next few days, then I think of something that I want to like talk about or a message I want to get across. And then I think of a beat, I kind of play around with my guitar and everything, and then sometimes it's the most random things I'm done doing. Like one time I was washing dishes, and then I was like, "Oh wait, this sounds so good," because I was just practicing something in my head, and it sounded amazing. And I was like, "Okay, wait, 1 second, let me go record this really quickly." So I switched on voice memos, and I recorded it, played the little guitar part, and I was like, "Okay, I'll get back to it." But it kind of comes natural, but yeah, I think of something that I want to sing, I practice a little, play with my guitar, and then yeah, I branch off from there.
And so your guitar, do you take lessons? Can you tell us a little bit about that process? I mean, you're given a guitar. I mean, if I was given a
Yes.
guitar, I'm going to say that I could probably make some really bad sounds with it. I wouldn't really know what I was doing with it. So what was that
Mhm.
like for you to learn how to play guitar?
So actually, I don't take lessons right now, but I did for 3 years, I believe, 3 to 4 years. I played guitar, and it was so much fun. My teacher was very helpful. I learned a variety of things, even on my electric guitar as well. But after I stopped taking lessons, I felt like even during near the end of it, I became more creative and just started, I guess, investigating or venturing more into different songwriting and, different, I don't know, like creative ways. So yeah, I think I kind of taught myself some stuff, but I was also taught for the start.
Interesting. So your journey's still continuing in music. Is there any other
Mhm.
instruments that you play or that you're interested in playing? You've got guitar, you sing. Is there any other things musically or, that you think that you might like to do?
Well, there is a few. Okay, so I have a piano in my room now, and I'm teaching myself how to play piano, which I think is really cool. I've always loved that instrument. I love how calming and relaxing it sounds and the different things you can do with the piano. And then I also had the violin. So I like the violin. The thing about it, because your hands here, my elbow is such a little thing, but the hours in my teacher.
Okay, so there is piano that you're really interested in, and
Yes.
also the violin. I mean, that's a
Mhm.
really, really cool instrument. I know that one of our
Yes,
Women
it
of
is.
Inspiration, 2017 Sophie
Oh,
Armstrong, she's a violinist. So I'm sure she would be happy to have um, to chat with you about that.
she played violin.
Oh, she's world class. She plays around the world. So we've just moved to a new location. Hello, how are you? Your sister is doing some great things. Are you proud of your sister? Yes. Awesome. Baloo, it's so great. I know that we had some internet connections. I know that you're now in a new spot, so we're ready to
Yes.
roll. I know that we were
Yes.
talking about your journey and,
Mhm.
how you play the guitar and how you're,
Yes.
teaching yourself how to play piano. And I was asking you about any of the other instruments or things that you're interested in. And so you're talking about a violin.
Yes. So, I was saying how I actually did play violin for, I want to say almost a year. But the one difficulty I had with violin is that since my hand stands up so here, like because your hand is up here while you play, I don't know, my arm strength, I couldn't. Like it was so hard, especially with practices. My teacher would try to help me with it, but I couldn't. Yeah. but I love playing the violin, but it was just a harder, tougher instrument for me to learn. Since I'm so used to like my hands being down here and then it was up here. So yeah.
We almost have to go to the gym and work out some
I
bicep
know.
curls, right? I don't
It's
know. I never
crazy.
realized how much strength was in playing a violin, but now that you say
Yes.
it, I mean, it's up
Yeah.
there the whole time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing, honestly, when you see people playing.
So let me ask you this. You're doing what you do and you love what you're doing. How much time do you invest into singing or learning a new instrument or playing guitar? I mean, how
Mhm.
much time, just for the other listeners, we always talk about, overnight success. It takes 10 years and all of a sudden suddenly you're this overnight success. You're 13 years old, but you've been,
Yes.
working at your craft since you're 9. And how much time do
Mhm.
you invest into that?
Well, I feel like when I was younger, that's a great question, actually. A lot of thought, but I think when I was younger, it was more of just a fun thing, and I still like love singing, but I feel like now I do it like more often. Like when I come from school, I'm singing. When it's kind of like an everyday thing. Um, yeah, but I spend a lot of time singing, a lot of time songwriting. I try to juggle it, make sure I'm on top of my school. So it's really whenever I can. And
Mm.
yeah.
So is it
Mhm.
all work, no play, or do you have a nice balance of work and play?
I feel it's kind of I have kind of a uneven balance, not really. So yeah, sometimes it's all work, sometimes it's a mixture just because yeah, I try my best to kind of mix it with play, but sometimes I'm so focused that I just keep going and going.
That I have to say that that's not uncommon.
Mhm.
I have interviews with women from around the world, and
Yes.
when they're into their passion, number
Yeah.
one, it's not work, and number
Mhm.
two, that is their play, and
Yeah.
so they're happy to do what they do and really could do it 24 hours a day without taking it a
Yes,
break.
exactly.
So I
Mhm.
think that's when you're doing something that you're meant to
That you
do,
love,
is when
yes.
that happens.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you, so in your spare time, and I do know that
Mhm.
you have some spare time, so you
Yes.
also do some extra work and you
Mhm.
really do a lot of volunteering. So a lot of what was
Mhm.
really impressive with your nomination package was the amount of, not only that you are a young woman,
Mhm.
already building your career and really honing your craft, but you've also really giving back to the community. I mean, you're
Mhm.
volunteering. So talk to us a little bit about that, and to the listeners that are joining us here, maybe you can share a little bit about what you do when you're not playing or
Okay.
singing.
So I've also always loved babies, like especially with my kids. My kids, my siblings.
And
Sorry,
maybe
we're
like a
younger.
couple years, 10
Yeah,
years maybe.
not even close. But when my siblings were younger, every time like they'd go to the doctors or something, I'd always hold them. So they'd always call me like a younger mother or something like that, like the doctors there and the nurses. But yeah, I've always loved caring for babies. So at my church, there's a nursery, and I would always work. There'd be intervals every 3 weeks, and then I would work with a team with the little nursery kids, which is so cute because they're always so adorable. And yeah, I love working with kids. And then also I'd work with Live Love Life Music, and we'd go to different places, schools, nursing homes, retirement homes, and we'd play music and kind of so it's like a therapy session really through music.
Very
Mhm.
cool. And by the way, I started babysitting when I was 11, and
Oh,
I really loved babysitting and babies and stuff like
yeah,
that.
babies
So
are adorable.
they are,
Love
and they
babies.
smell good most of the time
Yes, they do. Yeah,
when
most
they're
of the
diapers.
time. Yeah.
So let me ask you, I always talk about the importance of a great support system, and
Mhm.
I've had the opportunity to communicate with your mom, of
Yes.
course. And so let's talk about your support network, and who are your cheerleaders, Baloo?
So now I have so many. Thank you. Thanks to you, really, honestly. It's crazy now, but before and always, definitely my family's my main support. because, without them, I wouldn't have gotten my guitar. They try to trick me with a fake guitar. So halfway through, before I got one, and when I was 9, they gave me a fake one. And apparently I wasn't having it with that fake guitar. I wanted a real one badly. But yeah, they've always supported me with my music. I remember when I first learned a song on the guitar, it was by Jamie Grace, someone that inspired me to get a guitar. And they recorded it and they made a big deal of it. And they told me to play it with my family, like extended family and my friends. So yeah, they've always been there just pushing me and helping me and guiding me. So they're my main support.
Well, I know that I saw the pictures of your gala
Mhm.
party. So
Yes.
I had everybody was sharing their pictures of their gala party. I know your parents were both overjoyed, of
Yes,
course, for
they
you to be
were.
recognized because they see
Mhm.
how hard you work. And they had a whole room in their house. Your mom sent me a picture of the whole
It was
room in
crazy.
your
It was
house
so
that
much
was
fun.
decked out for like a ballroom
Yes.
and, for your family, because of course everybody's in the bubble right now. So how did it
Mhm.
feel when you were recognized, when your name was announced that you had won the Woman of Inspiration Youth Excellence Award? What did that feel like, Baloo?
What did it feel like? At first I was kind of like shocked, and I feel like it's like a rippling effect, kind of just being shocked because everything happened so fast. Even though it was the summer that I started really getting more like media or recognitions per se, but yeah, I was so surprised. I was shocked. I was so happy, really just overwhelmed and thankful because, as I said before, I felt like it was kind of just a reminder that what I'm doing is, really helping and that I'm actually, affecting people, affecting people's lives, it's just a really, really, really good feeling. But yeah, I felt amazing, and I still do feel amazing. It's great, like especially all the feedback I've gotten from this award. It's crazy.
And you're right. You do have a whole bunch of new cheerleaders. Of course,
Yes.
we're still 6,000 views and climbing.
Mhm.
The impressions over the whole awards, like we're into the couple million, right?
Yes,
And
yes, for
so
sure.
there's a lot of people that now know about a lot more things that women are doing, which is very, very cool.
Very
And
important
I'm
too.
super excited to have you coming on board, to sort of help, build out that youth program for young
Mhm.
girls. So what are those some of the challenges that you see that young girls are facing right now? You're 13, so speak to me about that 13-year-old and some of the challenges.
I feel like there's a lot. Wow. That's a tough one. Okay. Some things. Well, I would say definitely I always go back to speaking out and using your voice to impact others and not being afraid. So I feel like for both genders, really, that's one thing that is kind of happening that needs to happen. More people, speaking up and not being afraid to share what they have to think,
Hmm.
but also kind of comparing yourself to other people or feeling less than is a huge one for me. I remember last year I wrote a speech about it, and I actually got an award for it, but it was just talking about like how you should love yourself and not compare yourself to other people. Because if you really think about it, like, if you're comparing yourself to another person could be comparing themselves to you. So it's like, just love yourself, be passionate, have big dreams, have big goals, but I feel like, just loving yourself is really the most important one because once you love yourself, you can love someone else. So,
Mm.
yeah,
And I think you are such a great role model for that because
thank
you
you.
come to the table, you bring it
Mhm.
on, you're fearless in what you do, you contribute, you
Thank you.
participate, but you're helping and supporting others as well. So I
Mhm.
think you are such a great role model for that. And of course,
Thank you.
giving back in helping the community, which is really important, the work that you do in
Yes.
your church. All of your
Mhm.
letters that came back, they were just really in awe of, what you're doing and the direction that you're taking. And age, there
Mhm.
is no, when I look at young women doing these remarkable things, I don't
Mhm.
really look at the number, right? I just
Yes.
wish that I had it all figured out when I was 12,
Yeah.
13. And I think
Mhm.
that as adults, we look at our young leaders as, our new leaders. for how
Yes.
we grow. So that's what's really exciting. Now, do you have what are some of the other areas that I think that we can bring light to help young women sort of
Mhm.
find their voice?
Hmm. I think just continuing to support each other really is what we can do, especially with what you're doing right now. This is helping. Like you brought so many different people together. And not only that, but having more people supporting you and knowing that you're not alone on your journey, which is also very important because sometimes, you have those days where you feel like, oh, this is hard, I have this, but like when you have other people supporting you and other people to lean on to. So I think that's really cool, especially with when we were filling out the what's it called? The form to
The
get,
nomination
yeah,
package?
the nomination package, and getting people to say what they had, like their thoughts on me, and reading all those back. I thought that was just, it's such a good feeling, to know that other people think this way of you, no matter if it's just your daily routine and they think that you're, doing good things in the world. So I feel like more organizations, more meetings like this is essential.
Awesome. Now I'm going to ask
Mhm.
you a very difficult question. Are you ready for this? Okay, because I think
Okay.
it's competition.
Hmm.
So you've got this beautiful award that you've worked very
Yes.
hard for.
Hmm.
And I know that from one of our prior award recipients, she was really nervous about, sharing her gift with
Yes.
the grade fours,
Hmm.
that she was a singer, and that she had these talents. And she was a little bit nervous about sharing that with everybody. And then
Hmm.
once she did, it was very well received. And I'm just wondering
Hmm.
what your experience is. And I know this is really fresh, but have you
Yes.
shared this with anybody and what was the reaction?
Okay, so starting off, I feel like I can relate with her so much. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to seem like I'm showing off, or oh, I'm scared, kind of. But my mom, my mom was like, girl, you got something. This is amazing. So I actually, my nomination, I did share it and with my class, and I was like, oh, when the award before the Friday before it was gonna happen, I was like, oh, this is happening on Saturday. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the turnout and everything. And so on Monday when I went to school, I didn't really talk much about it because I was waiting for the end of the day so I could bring my award because my mom was going to bring it and I was going to show everyone. And then my principal comes in and my mom apparently already told her. So she like told everyone and everyone was clapping for me. And I was like, oh, wow. So it was just, I thought it feels good. Like it's an extra, it kind of lifted me up for the rest of the week, still now I'm remembering that, it was crazy. And it's really cool even too, because I'm the only girl in my class. So I have all boys and they're all clapping for me. And even my teacher is a male. So I was like, oh, yay, this is so nice. So yeah, they're really supportive.
So let's rewind. You have all boys in your class and you're the only girl. What school
Yes.
do you go to?
Okay, so it's a private school, and because now I think because of most of there were a lot of girls last year, but the thing is they were all in grade 8, so they all graduated. So I was the only girl in grade 7 that year, and then now I'm the only girl in grade 8. So yeah.
Wow. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. So you have a lot of what we call support hers, the men that are
Yes.
champions for women.
Yes.
So are those boys were they very, encouraging? Did they
Mhm.
really celebrate with you?
Yes, they did, like in their own little ways. Like it was so cool because not only were they clapping, but there's this one person who was like, "Woo, Blue, let's go!" Like, even the little things. But yeah, they're really supportive. They're really kind.
Very cool. I'm so excited to
Mhm.
hear that. And so
Yes.
let me tell you, this next year is going to be really interesting. Of course, we're going to
Mhm.
do some great things. We've got some great initiatives on the way. We've got a 2020 road show across Canada, of course,
Yes.
from Vancouver all the way to Halifax.
Mhm.
And, this podcast will be shared with, the world, right? So
Yes.
what are some of the messages that you would like to share with young women?
Really just going back to some of them I mentioned before. But a new one would probably be to, just keep doing what you're doing, really. Just stay focused. Don't ever let anyone kind of move you around or sway you around, which kind of ties into your voice matters. Just continue to stick with what you got. You got this. You got a bunch of people around the world, even though you may not know it, supporting you, you know. So, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing and yeah, keep your head up.
And so if we could do anything together, Baloo, what do you
Mhm.
think would be amazing that we could do next year to really help support young women and
Hmm.
youth? Let's talk about the boys too. I'm a big
Yes.
supporter out of, supporting our young men and with role
Yes.
models and actually giving them some support systems. So let's say
Mhm.
youth. How can we support the youth?
Honestly, kind of like branching out more from what you're doing now, because I feel like before anyone can start like supporting each other, helping each other, all comes down to like knowledge and what you know and educating yourself. So I remember when I was younger, we had this organization that came to my school, and it was called Girls Inc., I believe. And they basically were it was a program to empower girls. So if yeah, going around to schools and just helping educating or just having something to bring everyone together, I think that'd be
So
really
if we
cool.
had, say, some role model talks, do you think that would be pretty
Yes,
cool? And
that'd be really cool.
peer-to-peer networking,
Yes, yeah.
so that we can have some of these kind of platforms like we
Hmm.
did for our Woman of Inspiration, but with
Yes.
some role models, our Woman of Inspiration, and then also
Hmm.
peers. So we can have young women join on and they can
Okay.
be in a safe environment, of course, with the
Yes.
approval of their parents, but to talk
Hmm.
about this stuff, things that are really important to them and how they can accept and really dream big. Let's write that
Yes.
plan and let's get them
Yes.
some mentors. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a good idea, like workshop kind of things and just women empowering women. You know what you stand for, really. So yeah, it's a great idea.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to having you a part of that, Blue. And
Yes, for
I'm
sure.
super excited to be on this
Mhm.
journey with you. And of course,
Thank you.
congratulations on your award this year.
Thank
Before
you so much.
we go, I want to know who your woman of inspiration is.
Probably my mom. Yeah, probably my mom is my woman of inspiration. Because wait, Monica, are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I'll start again. Just so, um, yes. So if I had to choose a woman of inspiration, it would be my mother because um, as part of my family, she's obviously always supported me, but she's been the one that's kind of been pushing in the background as well as everyone else. Getting the news out there, sharing with all her friends. Yeah, but just continuing driving me here, and there. To lessons and just really building me up to the person I'm still growing to be today.
Amazing. And
Yes.
what would be your definition of a woman of inspiration if you had your definition? I know that we wrote one down here, but do you remember what that is?
Mhm. Yes. A woman who lifts other people up, but also takes time to care for herself. So, for example, someone who, you see someone down, you don't just think, oh, let me just continue with what I'm doing, but you lend a helping hand, or it doesn't even have to be another woman, but another man as well. Just seeing other people, helping them with their struggles as much as you can. Don't overdo yourself. Um, as well as taking care of yourself.
Those are really mature answers. I have to say, I
Thank
remember
you.
reading that and I
Mhm.
thought how incredibly great that you are, you're our next generation of
Yes.
leaders. And that
Yeah.
is the message that you're carrying at such a
Mhm.
young age. And I think of all the potential and all the opportunities that there are for us to learn from our youth,
Yes.
but also to help support you with
Mhm.
your leadership journey. So I thank you so much for taking this time with us today, Baloo. You
Thank
are
you.
an inspiration. I'm so happy to have you as part of our alumni that's going to build and grow nationally and globally.
Yes.
Before we leave, is there anything else that you would like to share with our platform before we go?
Um. Oh, Yes, actually, I would love to get my socials out there, so we can connect with anybody who wants to reach out, whether it be, to hear one of my songs or to just, talk anytime. Yeah, so most of my socials are Blue Sings One, which includes my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram, and then my YouTube channel is Blue Sings.
Amazing. And for those that are listening on the podcast today, in the show notes, we will include all of that information where you can find out more about Baloo and learn about her journey. And of course, that journey has a really, really long road ahead of you, paved with some gold bricks. I see your gold shirt. That's a Woman of Inspiration shirt. Is the colors. You're already owning it. I love it.
Yes.
And for sure, we look forward to your leadership to help us develop that youth program so you can step in and have a bigger voice to encourage more young women and young men to really make some change and impact in the world. So thank you so much for the interview today. And I look forward to our epic journey ahead.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
Amazing.
Bye.
Thanks, Baloo.
Thank you.
All right. So, Baloo, your mom just came in. You have to give her that earbud back.
Yeah, Mom, she wants to hear you.
We're just gonna close off here. I saw Mom in the background. I'm like, I could see you reaching over the shoulder and talking to your mom, but I'm like, let's get Mom in here. I'd love to hear from you. Hello, little sister. How proud are you of Baloo for stepping in to the spotlight with Women of Inspiration Awards? Let's hear from Mom. You're here, so let's hear from you.
Oh my gosh, I'm taking her off her shine. But anyway, I'm super proud of this little girl. She's not little anymore. She has so much wisdom for a 13-year-old. She's an old soul. We're so proud, her dad and I, and all of us here at home. She's an inspiration even to us, her parents. It's a parent's dream to see your children, do well and even succeed and do better than you. And she's killing it.
I have to say, Mom, I think Mom and Dad are killing it too, because it does really take a lot of support. And I know that Blue, you and I talked about who your support system was and who her Woman of Inspiration was. And she said, my mom has really helped me. So, I said, that's really cool. So it's really lovely to finally see you. And, if there's anything that you can share that you want to, last words, we're on the podcast. So Mom, you have the floor. Any last words for our listeners today?
Yes. So the last words will be parents, give your children opportunity. All they need is just that little opportunity. Be your support, and you'll be surprised what they come up with. They are in this world too, and their voice matters.
I love it. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Mom. And I saw, again, I was sharing with all our listeners that you had this beautiful room and this celebration for the Women of Inspiration Awards. Of course, we did things differently this year for 2020 because of the pandemic. But it was amazing, and it was really wonderful to connect with everybody online and see everybody's individual parties. But thank you so much for creating such a wonderful young woman, and we look forward to the journey ahead.
Yes, we do. And thank you for having her.
Yes, thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. We look forward to doing great things together.
Yes, for sure.